everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to use event emitters to send multiple values from native iOS side to React Native side in React Native's new architecture. So let's get started. I have already made a video for Android, so if you are interested you can watch that video. So this will be iOS specific only. So first I have created a React Native application. For that you can just go to this particular documentation over here to create a React Native documentation, to create a React Native project. So yeah, you can just run this command. At the time of me recording this video I'm using React Native 79, so you don't need to pass the version. Whatever is the latest, it will automatically pick it up once you run this particular command, and instead of turbo module example you can write your own project name. So yeah, that's it. So I have already ran this command and created a React Native project. It will ask you to install CocoaPods. Just click yes and it will install CocoaPods for you as well. One more thing is we will be referring to documentation. One is this for particular documentation which you are seeing on the screen, and second one is this particular documentation which is still experimental, but I feel like I don't think there will be any major changes as to this as such. That's why I'm making a tutorial on this, but if things changes drastically I will make a separate video, but at least for now things won't change. So let's come back over here, and obviously we'll have to use Objective-C, because even if we use Swift you have to initialize Swift file from Objective-C, then send that value from Swift to Objective-C, then Objective-C will send it to React Native side. That's why I'm just directly using Objective-C. But if you have some logic in Swift you can call it from Objective-C and send that value back to Objective-C from Swift and send it from Objective-C to React Native side. So yeah, once that is done, we'll be copying some code from this documentation. So here I won't be copying the exact code, I will be making few changes because I want to just copying this code won't make a lot of sense to you. So first, if you see over here, we need to create a specs folder. This is what is specified, and we need to create a TypeScript file inside that. Now you can name the TypeScript file whatever you feel like, but it has to start with the word native. That is very important. And after that you can write whatever you feel like. So let's go back to a React Native project. I'll just create one folder named specs. Inside that I'll create one file. I'll just name it as native my info. You can again name it whatever you feel like, but do remember this name because this name will be used in lot other places as well. So if you're doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I'm doing. So I'll just create this file, and I won't use this particular code. I'll use some snippets of it, but I won't randomly copy it. Okay, so I'll just paste some code, then I'll explain it to you. So first, these two lines I have copied it from the documentation, which you can see over here. Then we have imported this event emitter. So from where did I get this? So you will have to go to this particular documentation, and here you can see they have imported the event emitter. Now here in the documentation they are passing key value pair because they want to send it from native iOS side some key value pair of data. But again I have kept things simple. I don't want this key value pair. I'll just remove this. Okay, and I will just send out string data from native iOS side to React Native side. But again, like it is said in the documentation, you can send complex data type as well, like an array of objects or a number or a boolean. So yeah, if you want a key value pair you can follow this docs, and here you can see they are using key value pair as the data type. But here I have kept things simple. I have just defined this on string value emitted, and we have to use event emitter, and the data type is string. And here I have defined one method. So here I have purposefully not added some return type to this method because I don't want to return a single value. I want to like emit multiple values without calling this particular method multiple times. I will call this method only one time, but we'll have some processing logic. It depends on your app, and the app will continuously send some data from native iOS side to React Native side. Okay, and here also you will have to change this name to the name of your TypeScript file, so be careful with this. Okay, let's come back over here. Then we need to copy this particular bit of code, so I'll just copy this. I'll go to package.json and I'll paste it over here. Then again here instead of native local storage we have to write native my info, right, because that is the name of our TypeScript file. So I'll just write it over here, native my info over here as well, command as to save it. Then given that we have changed the package.json file, so first I'll just cd to my React Native project. I have just given name as rnapp2, ignore the name. Okay, then given that we have changed package.json, I'll just run npm install. That step is missing in this documentation. Then we have to cd to iOS. Okay, and then we need to run bundle install. I have already ran this, but I'll just run it once more time. In your case, if you are running it for the very first time, it will take a bit of time, so just be patient. Okay, then we need to run bundle exec pod install as well. So again, I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. And what it will do, again, I have ran this previously after creating the project, but given that we have done code generation as well, for this particular command, it will again install some other dependencies as well, and try to do code generation for our typescript file. So let it do its thing. This will take a bit of time, so in the meantime, let's move to the next step. So let's first see how to use it inside app.tsx. So what I'll do is I'll just go to app.tsx over here, and I'll just remove this default boilerplate code which is there. I don't want it, otherwise it will unnecessarily cause confusion. So I'll remove this scroll view as well. Okay, all right, I don't want this safe padding as well. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll just copy some code. I'll come back and then I'll explain it to you. Over here, what changes I have done is that firstly I have imported our native myinfo from specs. My native myinfo. I have also imported text as well as touchable opacity from React Native, and here I have imported use effect as well as use state from React. Okay, then here I have created one state variable. Now given that we have this particular value called onString value emitted, we have to continuously listen for it inside use effect. That's why I'm using native myinfo onString value emitted, and here you will get the actual value. Okay, I don't know why I have written values. You will get one value at a time. Okay, so you can name this whatever you feel like, and once I get the value, I just update our state. So I'll just update this set text. Okay, and once this we want to clean up this as well. So once this React Native app is destroyed, so we want to remove this subscription as well. That's what I have done over here. Then here I have just taken one button. I have assigned some styles to it of margin 40, and on press of it we just do native myinfo dot send some values. So if you see over here, this is the method which we have defined, right? Send some values. So that's what we are calling over here, and inside this particular method we will be actually using this particular event emitter on native iOS side. So don't get confused. On call of this method, we are calling this particular thing in native iOS side, which I will show you in a bit. So let's go to app.tsx. Here is our text element. Okay, and here is another text element where we are just displaying the value which we get from our event emitter. Okay, let's go back to the documentation, and next it just tells us to create a open our Xcode project. So just go to your React Native application, go to iOS, double click on this .exe workspace to open it inside Xcode. So first what it tells us that we need to create a group with our file name, right? So I'll just copy this. Let's just wait for Xcode to open up. So inside this particular thing, we'll just open this and we'll create a new group. So new group, and I'll just name it as native myinfo. Then inside that we'll create a file. Again, right click, new file from template, Objective-C file, click on next, and here I'll just name it as rct, and I'll just name it as native myinfo. This has already been given in the documentation. Okay, sorry, I made one mistake. Just go back, do not select Objective-C, we have to select Coco Touch class. Click next, and then write the name as rct and followed by the name of your TypeScript file. Language is Objective-C. Click next, and here you will have to make sure this target is checked, and then click on create. Xcode will ask, do you want to create a bridging header? Click yes. Okay, now that's why I was telling you use React Native 79 onwards, because from the React Native 79 the default iOS project is in Swift language, but whenever we are trying to write native code, we still have to use Objective-C. We can't directly write it inside Swift, at least at the time of me recording this video. Okay, then let's come back to our header file, and if you see over here, they have given us some code. So I'll just copy this particular part and I'll paste it over here. Okay, looks like it is not getting copied for me. Just do Command C and I'll paste it over here. Now instead again of native local storage, I have to use native myinfo. So I'll just remove this particular part, and here I'll just write native myinfo, and here also I'll just remove this native myinfo. Okay, all right, then here if you see, they have missed one step in the documentation. They haven't written this ns assume non null end. This is important, otherwise your app will not build. So hopefully by the time you watch this video they fix the documentation, but for now we can just copy this particular line of code, okay, and paste it. Now here, like this line of code is not really correct. It is correct only if you are using turbo module without an event emitter, but we are using a turbo module with a event emitter, so this will not really work for us. So what we need to do, I mean, you can change this local storage to myinfo, okay, but I'll just show you guys the error as well. Just do Command Z, native myinfo. Okay, so I'll show you the error, then things would be more clearer for you. So now here, instead of Objective-C, we have to use Objective-C++. So just click on this file, and instead of .m you have to write .mm, which is Objective-C++. All right, then what I'll do is I'll just copy this entire code from this particular documentation and just paste it over here. But we have to remove lot of code, so I don't want this comments. I'll just copy this particular part, and here I'll just use rct native myinfo. I'll remove this part as well. I don't need this as well. Okay, I don't need this as well. Here also I will write rct native myinfo. Here we have to write a native myinfo, right? So I'll just remove this particular part, and here I'll write myinfo. Now these are the methods which we were described, which we are defined in the TypeScript file. We don't have this method, so I can just remove all of this, and we just keep this module name, but here again module name should be native myinfo. Okay, then here you can see Xcode is telling us you have not implemented one method. So I'll just click on this and click on fix, and here you can see this is the send some values method which automatically got emitted. Now what I'll do is I'll just use a for loop like from 1 to 100, and I will add an artificial delay of 1 second, and then send whatever value is inside that for loop back to React Native side. Now you don't have to do this, it's just to prove it to you. I can automatically keep on emitting values once I call this method only once. Okay, but here inside the send some values method, or whatever method name you have defined, you will have to write your own custom logic. But just for simplicity, I am doing a for loop, and I will be sending the values of for loop with an artificial delay of 1 second. Okay, so here I will just paste some code. So even I have copy pasted this code from ChatGPT just to add an artificial delay. So you don't need all of this stuff. Okay, if you just want to send a emit a value, just use this particular thing. Suppose I want to emit a value called hello, so you can write something like this, @ I think hello, something like this. Okay, but this will not prove my point of continuously emitting out values, right? That's why I'm using this for loop. I'll just remove this. Now here you can see I'm getting this no visible @ interface. Like it did not complain for this send some values method which we have defined it inside our TypeScript file, but it is complaining it for our event emitter. So the problem is because of this, inside our header we are using this ns object native myinfo spec. Instead of this, you will have to come over here to this particular documentation, and we have to use something like this. So I'll just copy this, Command C, and here I'll just do Command V. So like I said, we have just copied this from the documentation, but again here we'll have to change this. So I'll just change this to native my info. Okay, and here also instead of local storage we have to write native my info. Then just come back to this particular thing, and hopefully this error should go away now. So here you can see now the error has went away. Now there is one more thing which we need to do, given that we are using that the main iOS project is created in Swift, and this code, native module code, we have written in Objective-C. So Xcode created this bridging header, and we inside this bridging header we have to add this particular import rct app delegate.h as well. Unfortunately again this is missing in the documentation, but this is necessary at least at the time of me recording this video. Otherwise when you run your app you get an error related to this, which is not really helpful error. So yeah, make sure you add this particular part as well. So I think that should be it. Let's run our application and let me show you guys the output. Okay guys, so here is the output. Now if I just click on this button, send some values, here you can see it is automatically emitting the values till 100 with an artificial delay of 1 second. So hopefully you got the point. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.